When you are offered admission and or scholarship by a school, you will receive an email with details about the offer. You may need to formally accept it. If you are offered
Okay.
full funding or a full scholarship that covers all your cost of attendance, the school will issue you with an I-20, which is a document required for processing F-1 student visas. If your funding is insufficient, that is, the school did not give you full funding, you must submit financial documents covering at least the deficit before the I-20 document can be issued. The school will let you know what your deficit is. It is important to note that a full tuition scholarship does not equate a full scholarship. With a full tuition scholarship, you will need to provide proof of funds for your living expenses and health insurance. In some instances, you will need to pay an enrollment deposit as well. The enrollment deposit is your commitment to attend the school. Some schools will refund the enrollment deposit if your visa is denied. Now, once you have received your I-20, it is time to process your visa. While I was recording this, a student asked whether they need to sign the I-20 document and send it back to the school. No, you just have to sign it and then use it to process your visa. Now, once you receive your I-20, you can begin processing your visa. Here are the steps to complete before your visa interview. Step 1, you have to complete the DX1C form, which is the visa application form. Step 2, you have to pay the visa fee. This fee is also called the MRV fee. You must pay it before scheduling a visa interview appointment. Step 3, you have to book a visa interview appointment. Step 4, you have to pay the service fee. This fee must be paid before your visa interview appointment. If you don't pay it before your visa interview, your visa will be denied. RK is a student I did a mock session with on my YouTube channel. Her visa interview lasted just a minute. In this video, I will explain why her visa interview was very short. She was interviewed by a young white man. So the visa officer requested for her I-20 and passport. So the visa officer asked, "What are you going to do at Ball State University?" RK replied, "I am going to pursue my master's degree in school counseling, and school counseling is a branch in educational psychology that seeks to provide academic support to students and also cater for psychosocial and emotional needs through counseling and therapy." So the visa officer nods and said, "Okay." Here, RK clearly articulated why she wanted to pursue a master's degree in school counseling, explaining that it's a branch in educational psychology. This shows a genuine academic goal, which is essential for a student visa application. So the visa officer asked, "What gave you the passion to pursue this course?" RK replied, "I currently work as an administrator, and from my prior knowledge of psychology, I double as a guidance coach at our home international school, and I get opportunity to listen to students' problems and challenges, and sometimes they present to me difficult situations that I lack the skills to provide them with the right support." Here the visa. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to this mock interview. I'm very excited that you're here. Let me know where you're watching this from. So today I have three students from Nigeria, the almighty Nigeria, that I'm going to interview. So as usual, I always want to make this clear. This is a mock session where I don't have access to a lot of information. But my goal is to listen to the stories of these students and then try to, based on everything I know, try to tell them whether the stories make sense or not. When they present a sponsor, try to determine whether the sponsor is credible or not based on what I know. And so I am not saying whatever I'm going to say is fine or right. I mean, I can get things wrong and all of that. So, and I can also miss things right because I don't have access to the DX1C form and all those things. So if there is something that you think I forgot to tell them, or if I miss something, let me know in the chat. If you have any question as well, let me know in the chat. This is going to be the last mock session for I don't know, for the next 3 weeks, right? I think that's what I posted because I'm going to be very busy in the coming weeks with school stuff, right? We are getting to the finals week. I have to teach, I have to, do all sort of things. So Yeah. If you have any question, this is a perfect time to ask your questions. Okay. So, I am going to start with Bukola, a Yoruba lady from Nigeria. S- um, so Bukola, how you day?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening. Why you saying you're fine? I said how you day, so you have to respond accordingly. I did fine. Eh.
Okay. I did
Yeah.
all right.
You did all right. Okay. Okay.
I
Nice
did all
one.
right.
Okay, that's good. All right. So, Bukola, where are you going? Bukola, are you there? Hello, Bukola.
So
Are you there? Bukola, are you there?
yeah,
Huh, what's going on? Is a network? Okay, Bukola, while you kind of look at what is going on, let me go to Ize or Eze. I think it should be Eze. Eze, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So Eze, who is sponsoring your studies?
shall I please?
I got it. I got a graduate teaching assistantship from the school that covers my entire tuition and my living expenses, while the 7,500 deficit will be covered by myself.
Okay. You say you're covering the deficit of 5,000. How are you going
Yes.
to cover it?
Well, currently, I have a business that's being managed by myself and my wife as a sideline, which is different from my main job as a research assistant at Ahmadu Bello University, and monthly we generate as much as 2 million naira in our net income as our net income. And I believe, and apart from that, I've saved up about $10,000 that I've kept separate in a separate bank account just for the purpose of my study. And I have a bank statement here to present to you.
Are you going to do masters or PhD?
I'm going for Masters of
Okay.
Science in Communication Studies.
Communication studies. Okay. So why do you need this program?
Apart from the fact that I studied mass communication as in my undergrad, which aligns with what I'm going for my master's program. It also aligns with the work that I do currently. I work as research assistant to Dr. ABC, and I need this program in order for me to be able to gain a permanent position at ABC University as a permanent senior lecturer.
Okay. How long have you been working in your current role as a research assistant?
So as I told you, I have a business I started with after I graduated from undergrad. So during the Corona pandemic, when business was slow and business was, in matter of fact, production was completely halted. So I took up the academic role, and that was in 2021, February 2021, and I've been in the same position since then.
What is your current? What is so as a research assistant? What do you do? What are your responsibilities?
So I help my supervisor to gather data with data collection sometimes. Sometimes I go into the field to issue questionnaires, help him conduct interviews, and I help with literature reviews as well. Besides, my supervisor focuses on health communication. So there are sometimes we need to go into the field, into communications, into communities to interview people and get
How much are you
first-hand
paid?
data.
How much are you paid?
Please, please come again. I couldn't hear that.
How much are you paid?
Currently, I earn 250,000 on that role.
Okay. So, how did you hear about the school? The school you are going to?
I knew about Minnesota State University through study abroad group I belong to, where I got a link about their information session, which I joined, and I listened to uh, the admission committee introduce us to the school, and it seemed very, very excellent and tailored to my academic need.
Okay. Okay. Um, how many schools did you apply to?
Applied to four universities. I applied to Ball State University, University of Texas at Arlington, Georgetown University, and Minnesota State University. And I chose Minnesota State University because, unlike the other options, it is the only school that affords me the opportunity to combine two different concentration, which is health communication and rhetorical studies. Unlike other options where I have to focus on you, I have to go with either one. But Minnesota allows one to be able to pick both. And as someone that also intends to go into health communication and advocacy, when I join the academics, it looks as the perfect match for me.
Okay. How did you get a GA?
Come again.
How did you get the GA position? How did you get it? What did you do
So
to get it?
after I got the admission, submitted a separate application for the GA position that includes uh, a writing sample, a video that shows me in a mock teaching session, teaching like students a topic in communication, and also I had three of my professors recommend me for the position.
Okay. Do you have any relative in the US? Do you have any
Sorry,
relative in the
I
US?
didn't hear that.
Do you have any relative in the US?
Do I have what?
Any relative, any family?
No, I do not have any relative in the US.
Okay. So at the end of the program, what are you hoping to do with the degree? I know you've said it before, but I just want to hear it again.
Please pardon me, but you may have to be
At
more.
the end of the program, what are you hoping to achieve with the degree?
Yes, my intention is to return to take up the senior lecturing job at ABC University here in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Let me just tell you what I think so far. Um, okay. When I ask you how do you want to cover your deficit, you have a deficit of just 5,000. So,
Yes.
and you work as a research assistant. So why don't you say you are going to cover the deficit from your savings as a research assistant at the University of ABC or something, or at ABC University in a way, so that it's like you, because you were talking about the a side business that you have and all of that, but that doesn't align with what you're coming to do. So why don't you talk about what aligns with what you are currently coming to do, like what you are coming to the US to do? So then you can add
Okay.
the business that you have with your wife and all of that. And the business, you should mention the name of the business and all of, because the more specific you are, the more truthful you sound. That's just the way it is, right?
Okay.
You can say my wife and I, we also own ABC company, which is about which is into
I
this.
was going to mention it, but then
Okay. Yeah.
because of
So
your uh,
my
privacy
what?
thing, that's why
My
I
what?
was.
Because of my what? My policy. Because
I
I
said
told
because of
you.
the whole privacy, you said we
Yeah.
can like censor
Yeah.
out any information we don't want to give.
Yeah. So, but then you should have just said ABC so that I know. Okay, you had the intention of mentioning the name of your company, right? Because that is very important. Okay. Cool. Um. Yeah. So that is just say from your work as a research assistant first, before
Okay.
before you talk about what you and your wife you do and all of that, the company. The point is that uh in my opinion, right, the research assistant job is probably enough for you in a way to cover your deficits, unless I'm wrong, but I'm just thinking maybe, and then you can add the business and yeah. Okay. I hope that what I'm saying makes sense to you.
Of course, it does. It does.
Okay. When I
It
asked
does.
you when did you start your job, you were just you were going round, 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 round on unnecessary details which can actually harm you. Like you're telling me about the fact that in 2021 business was slow and so you decided to take up a role as a researcher. No, that's not a question I asked you. The question is what the question is when did you start your job? So yeah, you can say you started your job as a research assistant in 2021 working for this. The business has nothing to do with the question I asked you. Don't
All
don't
right.
say things. Don't say things that will make you sound like you're lying or you don't know what you're saying, right? So you have to be
All
very,
right.
very careful. And then you
Okay.
can talk about the what you do, the research you conduct. Like you've been doing research into this and that, and then you realize that there are certain things you want to get certain skills which you don't have, and that is why you
Okay.
decided to apply to schools abroad. And you came across the University of Minnesota State University. You joined the information session. Okay, let me go to that answer you gave. You said you did your the school information session. They gave a lot of information, but then you didn't say anything about the fact that you did your research and then you discovered ABC, which is why you applied. Because yeah, they told you everybody will advertise nice things about themselves, but at the end of the day, did you do your research to see maybe the areas that you are interested in, they have it and all of that, right? So that is what I wanted to hear. But I think apart from that, everything looks good to me in a way. I feel like your current background as a research assistant, and the fact that you have a small deficit. When you have funding like that, you don't really have much to do. You just have to make sure your story is clear enough, as clear as possible, why you need a program. And always I tell students, your background, you connect your background, which is who you are, what you are doing, your job, right? I think you even mentioned your degree, which is fine, your degree in communication. So you start with that. Then you link it with what you are going to learn, why you need a degree, like what exactly you are going to learn, what is it about a program. Then you can link it to what you hope to do, which is you want to be, return and then, work as you said senior lecturer or something, right? So yeah, I mean, if you sound truthful, you maintain the eye contact, then I think yeah, you should be fine. Okay, so I feel like yeah, you have a good chance. Do you have any question?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Uh, Honestly, you seem to have covered some of the gray areas I wanted to raise.
Okay.
So for now, I
Yeah,
don't
good
have
luck.
any
All
question.
right, good luck. Okay, now let's go
Yeah.
to Bukola. Bukola, are you ready now? Bukola, are you there? Bukola, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Bukola, what's going on with you? Okay, let me clean this thing. If I don't hear from Bukola, then I'll go to Nikia. Okay. All right. So Bukola is still fixing a microphone. So let's go to Nikia. Nikia,
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
good evening. Yeah, good to talk to you. So Nikia,
Yeah,
tell me about your
yes.
program.
Okay. So, my program, I'm going to study my PhD degree in bioenergetics and exercise science with concentration in exercise physiology and behavioral science. And I'll be working with Dr. Linda May on her research, which is the influence of exercise um, during pregnancy to improve maternal placental and child health outcomes. And the child health outcomes is based on the cellular level and the whole body level. Okay. Then my program has like three concentrations. Then I'll be focusing on the exercise physiology and behavioral science, which will give me the skills and knowledge I need to become a seasoned exercise physiologist when I return back to my country, Nigeria.
Who is
And
funding your
I hope,
studies?
sorry?
Who is funding your studies?
Okay, I was awarded a fully funded graduate research assistantship by the sum of $45,262, which covers my living expenses, my
How did you
tuition, and health
how did you
insurance.
How did you get
Sorry.
assistantship? How did you get assistantship?
Okay, I submitted a compelling application, which includes my West evaluated transcript, a strongly written SOP that highlighted my research alignments with the one in the department, and I submitted. Sorry, I had two ex professors who submitted a strongly written recommendation letters, and I also submitted my CV that highlighted my research skills and academic qualifications.
Why do you need
Then
this
prior
degree?
to that,
Why do
okay,
you need this degree?
I need this degree to become a seasoned exercise physiologist, right? I hope to gain I hope to gain skills and knowledge I require to become an exercise physiologist when I return back to Nigeria. And I hope to establish my own consulting service company that targets pregnant women and empowering them to to significantly reduce the risk of complications during and after pregnancies. An example of these complications could be hypertension, preeclampsia,
What is your current
gestational
job?
diabetes, and
What is your current job?
okay, okay. I work as an assistant physiotherapy and as a physiotherapy assistant at ECU Hospital, where I help the physiotherapists to administer exercises to patients. And I also help in the treatment of any physical disabilities and conditions. I also, maintain up to date of patients' records, like progress notes
How many schools did you
and
apply to?
okay, I applied to three schools in total, which is the ECU University, University of Colorado Boulder, and St. Louis University. And I got admitted into two, but I chose ECU because of the strong program in bioenergetics and exercise science, and its core focus on exercise physiology and behavioral science aligns with my career goals of becoming an exercise physiologist in Nigeria. And upon completion of my studies, I'll be returning back to Nigeria to establish my own consulting service that targets pregnant women, empowering them, to significantly reduce the risk of chronic complications and diseases during and after childbirth.
Do
And
you have
I
any relative in
also,
the US? Do you have any relative in the US?
no, I do not. I do not. All my immediate family members are here in Nigeria.
What do you mean by immediate family members?
Oh my God. All
I
my
know.
family members are here in Nigeria. All my
No, I'm
family
just.
members.
Don't mind me. I was just kidding. Don't mind. No, it's fine. Okay.
Okay.
So, how do you hear about EC? You say EC, right? How do you hear about the school?
Yes. Okay. Okay, during my master's degree, when I was working on my thesis report, I came across Dr. Linda May's publication on the influence of prenatal exercise, on pregnant mothers, which actually aligned with my thesis, my thesis topic, which was awareness and practice of exercise among pregnant mothers attending ETI center in Nigeria. So I became interested because it aligned with my career goals. So I reached out to her through email and we had like an enriching conversation. I told her about my qualifications and my genuine interest in the program. So she encouraged me to apply. So that was how I heard about the school and I applied. That,
That's all right. Okay. Yeah, it sounds good. Just a few things that I wanna. Do you talk like that normally? Because I feel like sometimes the pace is fine. Sometimes it's like you are rushing a little bit. If you can kind of slow down a little bit, right? That's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, I talk like that. So maybe when like when I'm nervous, yes, I tend to like
When
talk.
you're nervous, breathe in,
Yeah.
breathe out, breathe in, breathe out a few times. Maybe before the interview, actually, before you the visa, before you are called, right? Maybe when there is one person before you, you can just try to breathe in, hold it for maybe 5 seconds or 8 seconds, and then breathe out. Do it a few times. It kind of helps. And when you're asked a question, you don't have to quickly say, where are you going? I am going to. No, no, no. You can actually pause for like 2 seconds, organize your thoughts, and then say it. You don't have to. But some of these things, if I say it and then you just wait until the day before you do it, you might, struggle. So it comes with, you have to practice before, right? Beforehand. And so, yeah, if you want, you ask yourself a question, you wait maybe 2 seconds, and then you answer so that you take your time. We don't have to always answer as soon as we hear the question, right? Because sometimes
Yeah.
that can disorganize everything that you want to say. You will not be able to articulate yourself well. But overall, I think you've done well. I mean, you too. Fortunately for you, you have a GA, and so all of those things. You say you evaluated your transcript, but you didn't say what the GPA is. Maybe that is helpful,
Oh,
much helpful. But
um,
did you get a,
I
a
need
high?
to mention.
Did you get a high
I
GPA?
needed to mention it. It wasn't so high. It was just normal. Like it
If
was
it's
normal.
if
It
it's not
wasn't
if
like
it's not
3.9.
it, no, you don't have to get 3.9 before you say it's high. 3.9, do you mean over 4.0 or 5.0? So the point is
It's
that,
over 4.0.
yeah, so the point is that you evaluated your transcript. If you tell me you evaluated your transcript, it doesn't say anything. The fact that you evaluated your transcript is not part of admission or funding decision. It's not part. They don't use that to make admission decisions, right? It is about when you evaluated it, what was the GPA? If your GPA is not high enough, don't talk about GPA. You can focus on other application materials. Maybe you submitted a proposal or writing sample recommendation letters, right? Or SOP, which highlights
Okay.
your research interest and your resume, which highlights your background, your professional background. That is what you focus on, because it means that those things had more weight in the funding you got than the GPA. If the GPA is not high enough, I don't know what it is, and there's nothing wrong with you don't have to say it. Okay, so that is what I thought.
No, I can say it. It's 3.24 over 4.0 when I did it.
Yeah, I mean, you can mention the 3 point. I think it's not bad. 3.24 is still okay. If it makes you
Okay.
uncomfortable, you can forget about it, right? And then focus on the other application materials. Okay. And the
Okay.
interview you did, because interviews are very important when it comes to your program, right? Programs like that. So focus a lot on the interviews you did. Okay. When I asked you what the program is about, I think you were just going around and telling me you are going to work with Professor ABCN. But that's not the question. Is maybe you can just say it's a 2 year or it's a 4 year program, which like what exactly is the program about? What maybe it has three concentrations. I think you mentioned that one later on and all those things. Before you talk about
Mm,
the professor, right? Because you were just talking about the professor. You're going to work with a professor, but that's not. I asked you what the program is about, not the professor and stuff like that. So focus on what is the program about, right? Maybe it's a 4 year program with
mhm.
concentrations in this. There is a lab or something, those. So it's like describe the program. What is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so when I asked you why do you need a degree, I wanted it would have been, I think I asked you, it would have been nice to actually say, what your job is. It kind of always helps to start with that you work as this, because I never heard about your job until I asked you later on, right? But you don't have to. But I'm just
Okay.
saying it's always helpful if you can mention it. It's not everybody who has to mention their job. It depends. It depends if your job aligns with what you're coming to study, then yeah, it actually helps for you to say that. Okay. And it's always like there are certain things you don't know and you're trying to upgrade these skills. You mentioned skills a lot, I think, but you never mentioned any specific skill that you are going to learn, right? What are those skills that you are going to learn, right? What exactly? Maybe the program there, maybe like I go back to it again, right? There is a lab, maybe research opportunities or some stuff like that, right? But if you just say skills, yeah, it can work. But sometimes if you are, the more specific you are, the better, right? If you can be specific about what you are going to learn from the program, from the lab. But I think overall, I think, yeah, you have a very good chance. Is it your first time?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Yeah, I mean, first time I think yeah, you have a very good chance, and yeah, just go and then be yourself. If you have to breathe in, breathe out, and just stay calm. Don't be rushing, because when you're rushing like that, you are sounding you'll be sounding memorize you'll be sounding like somebody who has memorized the answers. Just know what your story is. You have a transcript. The transcript is just supposed to guide you. At the end of the day, you have to speak as if you are talking with a friend. If you meet a friend, if let's say you go out right now, you meet a friend, and the person asks you, why do you need this degree? The way you would talk to the person is the same way you have to talk normally, right? With the visa officer. So just try to, be calm, and yeah, don't rush through the answers. Apart from that, I think yeah, you have a very good chance. Do you have any question?
I think that's all. Okay, yes, I have a question.
All right.
Okay, so my what's it called? Sorry, I forgot. Okay, my course, the name of my course is bioenergetics, but I think I've said it before, like during one of the live sessions, but I don't think you answered me. Okay, so the name of my course is bioenergetics and exercise science, but on my I-20 it's written physiology, pathology, related sciences, and other, right? So like during the interview, if the viewer asks me, okay, like
Yeah.
why am I going to the US, and I want to like mention like my study,
It doesn't matter which one you go for.
what's
If
on
you
the
if
I-20 be considered no, or
so
I should
yeah,
say
for some reasons your network is not clear. But back to I remember you asked this question, and I remember I answered you. I don't know if you watched everything, but I remember I answered this question. But the point is that it doesn't matter which one you go with. You can go with the one on the I-20, you can go with the actual program on the school's page. Like whichever one you go with, it's all about you knowing that in a way they are the same. The one on the I-20 is just more like a grouping of programs under one umbrella, so that it's just the way they do it, because every school can have one school can have applied economics, one school can have economics, one school can have development economics. So they try to kind of categorize them in a way. If you want, you can go with I-21 and just stick to that as the program, and say, and then you can say the exact program you are going to study is more like the area of concentration. If you want, you can do it like
okay,
that. Yeah, you can just say the one you are
okay,
going to, the one that is on the school's website is your area of concentration. Yeah, that should work. Okay.
okay. Can I ask another question?
Okay.
Um,
What is it?
yeah, you were saying something about like skills. You said I was just mentioning
Yeah.
skills. Like, okay, so like for my program, what skills do you think I should mention?
You're asking somebody who is in economics. Somebody you are going to do something physiology, what's like,
Different.
I don't even
Yes. Yes.
pathology and all those things. Like, how am I supposed to know anything about that? No. There you can
Okay, so
even use some of the title of the courses as what you're going to learn. So, for example, if I'm going to study data science, right, I can mention skills like machine learning, deep learning, uh, data manipulation, right, that kind of thing, right?
okay,
So that's what I mean. Okay,
okay,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. More like you are trying to build your research skills, if you think about it, right? Yeah.
Mm,
If you check the school's website, all this information will be there, because the more specific you are, it kind of shows that you are aware of what you are getting yourself into. You cannot get into a program without knowing what it entails. That's the whole point about the skills, right? Okay, these are the skills that I need, and I don't have them now, right? I'm a computer science student, but I don't know how to use AI. So I want to learn. This computer science program has AI concentration with, you know uh with areas with models such as maybe support vector machines, linear regression, that kind of thing. So that shows that, okay, you know exactly why you need a program. Maybe when I was preparing
okay,
way back, I was like, Ohio University program, the economics program, they have R and Python, which are skills that I don't have, that kind of thing. So yeah, these are very easy to get from the school's website. Okay, so good luck to you. All right.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Eze, Oh no, I think I've interviewed Eze. Bukola left. Huh. I've not talked with Bukola and she's not here. Wow. Bukola, where are you? What's going on? Anyways, let's go into the comment section. She still has time to join, and let me get into the comment section to see what's going on. The comment section, I understand that I can always it's not everything that I may see. Sometimes YouTube will even not allow me to see some of the comments. So if I don't see a comment, one option is to resend it, right? So yeah. So Joseph from Ghana, cried. I'm familiar with him. Mohammed, okay, Mohammed, good to see you. Okay, Leslie, as usual. Fix from Ethiopia. Nice. Highline, okay, from South Africa. Chidima from Nigeria. And then Mohammed, okay, from Nigeria. Judith from Nigeria. Isa, okay, Isa, I'm good. Isa, how are you? How is everything? Okay, Hashim, okay, from Ghana. Tia from Ghana. Red Plus, okay, Dr. Chris from Nigeria, okay. Abigail from Ghana. Samuel from Oman, okay. Tete, Tete, I know Tete. So you guys, if you're on the ShaiPod, I interviewed Tete, right? He's an expert on the Erasmus Mundus. Okay, so nice one. Alaba from Nigeria. How una day? How una how una day? So easy, Charlie. Um, Abhishek, how can I join the mock? So Abhishek, the mock session, it is straightforward. You just send your details. There are specific details that we request for, so you just send those details on Telegram, and then once you send it, once we get the first 5 people, we select two. But then if we don't get the 5 people, so if let's say at the end of today we get five, okay, well, there's something else I'm going to say. So let's say we get 5 people, then we select two. If we get 5 people today, if we get 5 people at the end of today, then that's all. If you send your details on Monday, Tuesday, then you are not going to be selected because we've already had the people, right? The other thing is that for the next 3 weeks there wouldn't be a mock session because there are so many things that I need to take care of. So I cannot combine mock session with all of these things. Mock session is not just like me coming here 1 hour and then do mock session. No, it's more than this. Selecting students, uh, the links, creating the link and all these things. Like, it's a whole lot. It's not like it's not. And if I wake up and I don't have a mock session, right? I don't have to shower. I can just get out of bed and then do what I need to do. I don't have to shower. But if I have a mock session, then I have to go and shower. Like, oh, like when you shower, it takes time, right? It's all of that. So yeah, if I don't have mock session, I know that okay, I can just focus on what I want to do on the day. Okay, Bunmi from Nigeria, and then Kofi K, okay, from Ghana. Okay, Asha. So I've responded. So once you are selected, once you are part of the 2 people. So today there are 3 people because of there is a particular reason. But then okay, so let's say I select 2 people. Okay, so 2 people and that's all. And yeah, if you want private mock session, which is going to be out of the usual mock session on Sunday, then you have to pay for it. The thing is that you cannot serve everybody. People reach out to you, they think you are the only you are the they are the only people who are reaching out to you. If you make something free, you are going to get so many people. You are not going to. Who is what did I even do? So Eze, I don't know what's going on with Eze's so microphone, so I had to mute him. So yeah, the thing is that people think, no, if I go on TikTok, which is where I receive a lot of messages. I go on TikTok and it's like, a day, so many messages, and everybody thinks they are the only people reaching out to you. You have to respond, and you have to, and no, the thing, everything that you need is on my YouTube channel. I've made a lot of videos covering everything. So if you go there are a lot of mock sessions you can watch to look at the stories, and you can actually use other people's stories to know whether your story makes sense or not, right? So yeah, there is only so much that I can do, right? So Asha, so that's the thing. If you are selected, then yes, this is just Once you are selected, that's all. There is nothing else for you to do. Once you are selected, um yeah, you are going to get a link to join. That's all. You don't do anything else. Fexes says okay. um Share has a link to meet you and have a mock interview. So yeah, like I said, there is nothing like, link for you to join a mock. It's only those who are selected, because the space, there is not a lot of space. So the space has to, we have to limit how many people we can have. That's just the way it is. it's it's not like if I, just one person and one person interviewing people, it's tiring. Yeah, yeah, it's just the way it is. It's just difficult. So those who really want to do the mock session and, outside the Sunday one, then you have to be willing to pay. That's just. And I always say that what I charge students is, it's a small fraction of what other people will charge you. And you're not. I actually record the mock session, the private mock session, and then I upload it somewhere so that you can actually watch it and hear, and kind of hear whatever I said, the feedback, everything. You can actually see everything, right? So then you can improve on what you need to improve on. If the mock session is not enough for you, then the one-on-one coaching is a lot of work, a lot of hours. I have to go through your answers, make sure everything is well structured, everything like makes sense, and we have to talk. And sometimes, quick calls, quick chats, like, there is a private group that you have to, I will add you. And it's like those ones, it's not on WhatsApp, right? The private group. So it's like, yeah, when you send a message, I get notification, and then I have to go and respond to you. Like, it's a whole lot of work that, you know yeah, what I charge is way too less, right? But yeah, it just, you can only do your best, right? Okay, so Daniel says you completed your national service as a teacher in a basic school with no job background. How do you prove home ties during the recent interview? So when did you complete your bachelor? When did you complete your national service? Right? When you are not even working, and then you have good funding, that can even take care of everything. Because once the visa officer sees that you have funding like that, it can actually, you know help you in a big way. So when you don't have funding like that, then you have to make sure everything is perfect. Yeah, that's just maybe volunteer work or something, right? The thing is that if you don't have a job and you don't have funding or good funding, it's then you have a lot of work to do. And you can still always try to talk about the fact that there is a problem in the country, and you want to come and get certain skills, specific skills, and go back and solve the problem. That is how you prove your home ties. Okay. So agent says, are we to speak too much like this? No, you might not get a chance to speak too much like this, right? That's why Nikia, Nikia was talking a bit more. So then I'll interrupt us more, once in a while. But yeah, you just you might not get a chance. It depends, especially the first question. Sometimes the first question, they will allow you to talk plenty, to say everything that you have to say, right? So that is where you have to use the opportunity to express yourself very well and say everything that is going to help your case. And you have to be very careful not to say something that is actually going to affect you, right? So yeah. MJC, big up to you as well. Micah says, is it possible to get funding in spring semester? It is possible, but I don't recommend it. In the group, right, I shared something um about some of the mock sessions that I've done, right? When I was compiling the list, I noticed that after fall, those who I did mock session with going for spring, only Randy was approved. Like, who reached out to me that he's been approved. I don't know if other people were approved and they didn't reach out, but I noticed that it was only Randy for spring. And even Randy, he's going to Northeastern. His funding, he had huge deficit. Northeastern. I keep telling you guys, Northeastern, you have huge deficit. He had a huge deficit, but then because he had traveled to the US before, that helped him. And once his story was good, he was approved. So my conclusion from that is that, and also during the spring semester, all those who I interviewed, they didn't have good funding. When you don't have good funding like that, then and all those people, I probably told them that I didn't give them any assurance, because you can actually tell that this is not looking good. So spring, I don't recommend spring, but yeah, if you want, yeah, you can go ahead. And then I can talk about Amara. Got, she got a GA and started in spring, right? So Yeah, I mean everybody's luck is different, so you might wanna. It depends on you, but if I were to do it again, I will not waste my time for spring. No, 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 because the chances are very low. I'll focus on fall. Take my time. If waiting is always hard, but I'll wait and do everything that is right. And yeah. So you said you got admission to Miami University. Up to now, no funding. Yeah, so you might want to reach out to them to find out what's going on. If nothing has gone well, you might want to take a break. On Tuesday, I'm posting a video of the live session I did in collaboration with PEDx, right? So while I was doing the live session, I was also recording it on the side. So if you missed it, I've cut the part which was about what no funding, what's next, right? So you want to watch that, and you see everything that I have to say there. Please, does the DX1C form expires? Yes, it expire. It can expire after 30 days if you don't touch it at all. If you don't go into it at all, it can expire. So Judith says, when you get a fully funded scholarship with no deficits, what does one feel for? Who is sponsoring your trip? It doesn't matter who you. I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't even matter who you feel. I always went with self when I had full funding. When I was coming to high university, I had full funding, so I went with self. Yeah, when you go, they ask you how are you funding your studies. Then you say you have GA. The I-20 is there to show that you have a GA. It doesn't matter who you say. These are not things that a visa officer will use to deny you the visa. Because the I-20 is the evidence that the school is funding you. But the school is funding you. The thing is that you are you are coming to work for the school in a way, that kind of thing. So okay, look at undergraduate students. If you're an undergraduate student, you get full scholarship. That full scholarship does not require you to work for the school, so it's like free money from the school if you have a full scholarship as an undergraduate student. For graduate students, you're coming to work for the school. Part of the GA is a scholarship, part of it is you for the work you are going to do for the school, right? So whatever you put there, it's all about at the interview. What do you present? What do you say? The visa officer is not going to look at the self and then be like, "Oh, you said self now on the I-20 is school. So why did you say school?" No, that is the. But if you have a deficit, then you have to go with the one who is sponsoring with you with the deficit, right? So people say, "Oh, why don't you say campus employment or the school?" Okay, my argument is that if you go with campus employment, what if you have a GA that covers, let's say, 60,000 out of 70,000? You have a deficit of 10,000. Will you put the school because the school is covering most of it? Will you say the school or will you say campus employment? No, you're going to say who is covering you with the 10,000, because at the interview, that is, if the visa officer asks you who is covering your deficit, it is that person. So the same way, if there is no person, then it is self in the sense that you are going to sponsor yourself for the ticket and the flight ticket and stuff like that. In a way, to it kind of shows that okay, you can sponsor yourself, right? You kind of a corny way trying to say you can actually sponsor yourself, and which is a good thing, right? So that's my argument. And based on people I coach, I've coached so many people that it's if you are fully funded, it's itself. That's just the way it is. All right. So Akosia says my visa got denied in January, master's in social work. Please, will you advise me to use the same course to reapply? This is not a good question because I don't know why you were denied. I don't know. I have no idea anything about it. I don't know. Sometimes it may not even be your course. It may not be the course. It may not be the school. It may be your answers, your story. If your story is bad, then right. Sometimes it could be your funding. Sometimes so it could be so many different things. So I cannot just look at your question and then tell you it's A or B. No, that's not. I will not be able to tell you something good enough because I can tell you something general. You go and you'll be denied again, right? But then if I know exactly what happened, I can tell, oh, this thing is a problem, or this. Sometimes it can even come from the DX1C form, right? So, yeah. Bumi says I applied to only one university, which I was admitted. Can this affect my interview? No, it cannot. Unless you are asked and then you don't know, you don't have a good answer. If you have a good answer, yes, maybe there's maybe that program in the school, there is something unique about it, and in your research, you didn't find that in any other school. That's why you applied to the school. Complete sense, right? All right. Emmanuel says His Excellency Shai. Emmanuel, easy, 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 easy. Says congratulations on your new appointment as the president of the Association of Graduate Economics Students. Well, thank you. Can I tell you guys something? Well, another time, okay, I'll tell you on another day. So Diola says, please, I would like to ask a question. Yeah, Diola, go ahead and ask your question. Okay. So Akosi, I've answered your question. Okay. Asha says your living expenses, will it be paid at the school? Your living expenses is something that you take care of yourself. So your living expenses includes your accommodation, your food, your travel if you are traveling or something, your other stuff. Normally, what the school is interested in is your tuition and other fees. And other fees here includes sometimes includes insurance, depending on if you are going to use the school's insurance. Then it's like tuition and other fees. So the other fees it could include your insurance and then your general fees. General fees can be let's say your department there is something that they do, so they can charge you maybe $50 or $100, so that is general fees. Something like there are other fees that can that can come up, and sometimes you can actually check the school's website for some of these things. So I see excuse me, I see Mary from Nigeria. I see okay, Awate from Ghana. And then Diola says, I would like to ask a question about my interview approach. So what do you mean by your interview approach? Can it be a bit clearer? Data says, hi Ezekiel from Kenya. Good to see Kenyan here. Evelyn, how do I explain my uncle is sponsoring me to VO? So Evelyn, when you are presenting an uncle, one of the things that can help you is if you are working for your uncle, if you are working in your uncle's company. So then, yeah, that is going to help you. But if you are not working for your uncle's company, it is always difficult to prove that your uncle loves you so much. It also depends on your deficit. If your deficit is small, maybe 15,000, maximum 20,000, then you can find a way to justify that. But if you have a deficit of 40,000 and you say your uncle, like how can your uncle, what kind of uncle is so caring like that, right? But if you're working in, even if the deficit is 4,000, you are working for your uncle and you can express yourself, like all of these things, you have traveled before, all these things, your uncle has your uncle's company has a name which can actually be checked and found out online, like all these things, then yes, that can help you, right? So it is not straightforward. It depends on so many things. Okay, depends on your deficits, like, yeah. Daniel says hoping to contact you this week. Daniel, how are you going to contact me? What's the plan? Okay. Blessing, how do you recommend one to explain funding of about 40,000 with no scholarship offer? Oh, you mean I guess you mean you have a deficit of 40,000 with no scholarship offer. So it depends. How are you funding your studies, right? Who is sponsoring you? I mean, it depends, right? Sometimes even your appearance, if you claim that your uncle is rich enough to sponsor you, your appearance alone can show that your uncle can sponsor you. There's a guy I did, I coached. So in the last mock session, that was when I saw his face. I told him that, oh, he had no scholarship. He's from Sierra Leone. I saw him. I looked at him. I was like, he looks like somebody from a rich home, and so he's likely to be approved. And we had already prepared good answers and all of that. So yeah, sometimes your appearance alone can show that. Yeah, eh, the on my channel there are some of the interviews, some of the just interview transcripts. I only try to share what is relevant to you guys. So there are a lot of things I cannot, I don't share. But yeah, if you present your story very well, you appear, you know like, Nikia is trying to join. I'm just wondering, Nikia, yeah, you join. Like, I don't know what Nikia is doing here because I'm done with Nikia. Anyways, um, so Lydia says, I'm Lydia from Kenya. I'm asking about changes. When viewer asks about changes, what should I say? So Lydia, the changes have to do with what actually happened. If I am coaching you and then you come to me that I should tell you what has changed, I cannot tell you. So what I do is I have to ask you the questions you were asked and the answers you provided, so that I'll try to pinpoint what exactly happened. Then I may have to look at your funding and all of that to know whether it's your story or it's your funding. That is how it is. So there is no one good answer to what has changed, right? There are different ways. Another approach is to focus on your strengths, like Richard, right? Richard was denied when he went the second time. He was focusing on his strengths, what he was doing. So one way is to focus on your strengths, that okay, What has changed? Then you say, well, actually, when I came the first one, when I came for my first interview, I didn't get a chance to talk about, the fact that I'm working as this, and this is why I need this, like that kind of thing. So you focus on that is one way. But then if it depends on why you were, if it's your story or your funding, that will not even work. So it depends, right? There is no, one good answer to this question. Diola says, please, I would like to join your mock session. So I've already talked about this. Okay, you can check what I said earlier. Akosia, Akosia, you've repeated your question several times. Like, Akosia, you have to be patient. Okay, if you are not patient, it's not good. Oh. Latifa says he's saying that you are coming back to run your family business enough to prove home ties. It depends, right? I don't know why you guys ask. So, okay, are you currently working for your company, your father's, your family business? Are you doing that? If yes, then good. The second thing is, what exactly are you doing in your role? Why do you need the degree? If you can link everything back to the company, then yes, there is a good chance. So it depends on so many things. It's not straightforward. Okay. A lot of times it is not black or white. No. A lot of times it's in between. Okay. So let's not make it black or white. If you ask people questions, oh, what should I do, and people will tell you something, but they could be wrong, because they will not be as specific as possible. Meanwhile, you need something as specific as possible, and then you go, and then you might not be approved. So you have to know exactly what happened. Okay. All right. Mukama says, is it true that you have to submit your documents prior to the interview? Did you see it on the embassy's websites? There are a lot of clickbait. People are always making videos. As soon as they hear, they want to make a video. They want to make, but sometimes it's good to make such videos to let people know. But is it true? Right? It is not true. This thing is not true, right? At the when you get to the embassy, some embassies, I think they will take the document to go through or something. But for you to submit document before the interview, no, it doesn't. It's people have said it. It's not been done yet. Yours is to focus on what you are supposed to do at the moment. If there is something, the embassy will communicate that to you. It will come out. So yeah, be careful of all these clickbaits. Everybody is trying to get attention. That is who we are. Everybody, we all want attention. So you have to know what is good, what is not good, what is true, what is not true, and you have to learn to do your research all the time. When you see something, don't just conclude. Google it. Do your research before you even let it bother you. Okay. All right. Who else? Nana says, I want to join the mock interview. So Nana, I've already said this. Okay. Bianca says, hello, sir. I want to ask how I can answer the visa officer in relation to using my dear uncle as my sponsor, whom I work for in his surveying firm to support my undergraduate studies. So you're an undergraduate student. Okay, undergraduate student. How old are you? Right? How old are you? How long have you been working in the company? What do you do in the company? What are you coming to study? Like, it's not straightforward like that, right? A whole lot of, we have to look at different variables. It's not just one thing. If you're just looking at one thing, yeah, it will not help. Somebody will go for the interview like 6 times, and then will be approved on the sixth time, and the person will be making, will be thinking, oh, maybe they prayed or something. But sometimes you just have to look at what you did the first time, which was wrong, and correct it in the second time, or the third time, the fourth time. But if you just do the first, you go first one, you don't know why, you go again, you don't know why. You can go like 100 times. If you don't know why, you will still be denied. So you have to identify what happened first before you can go and then be approved. Okay. If it's about funding, don't even apply again. Wait till you get funding before you go again. It's hard, but that is how you have to. That's what it is, right? Okay. So good old Leslie says, as an administrative assistant, what will be the occupation to choose on the DX1C form? Because I cannot find my occupation from the populated lots that shows up. I am not too sure. There are a lot of things that I don't remember what is there. But you, as an administrative assistant, knowing what you do, your role, right? I think you should try to find something closely related to that. But that is not even the main thing. The main thing is your description of what you do. That is, the main thing there. Okay. So it's not really a big deal. Don't worry about that one. Judy says, thank you, but what if your parents are sponsoring your flight? If your parents are sponsoring your flights, you can put their names there. It's not the self thing. It's not like by force self. No, you can put wherever you want to put. Okay, you decide what you want to put there. So
Bukola is trying to join. Bukola right now, unfortunately, I've already done 1 hour. And I still have a lot of comments to respond to. So Bukola, I don't know. Maybe let me read a few comments and see if I'll be able to. But hold on. Akosia says my visa got denied in. Okay, Akosia. I mean, Akosia, you can't do that. Okay, Akosia, please don't do that. um, how do you answer that you have a sibling in the US? Should you talk about what they are doing, their studies, or wait to be asked? Don't talk about them until you are asked. And if you have a sibling in the US, normally the best thing is try to go to a place which is different from where they are, like go to a different state, right? That helps. And also, if you have funding like that, it helps, because if you don't have funding, it's like they are going to help you settle in, they are going to help you engage in illegal things, right? Or maybe, but if you have funding like that, even if you have a brother, what's the point? Why? Yeah, you'll still be fine. Then you are very clear, your story is good, you are very clear about why you did a degree, like all these things, you'll still be approved. Okay, so yeah, don't be scared by all this. Yeah, it's all about your why you need a degree, and your funding and all of those things. How can you contact me? Yeah, so anyone who wants to contact me, we know what to do. The link is always in the description, right? Eric says, I would like to ask if taking care of my mom's shop, is that a solid point for proving home ties? What is the size of the shop? Is your mom's shop a big enough company? Because why will your mom spend, let's say, $30,000 for you? You're coming to do undergraduate studies. Why would she spend $30,000 on you, and then you go back and then you are managing a shop which is small, right? So it depends on the size of the shop. If it's big enough, it's a big company, online presence, like all these things, then that can help you. Okay, all right. Kayla says, thank you, Shai. Your videos are very helpful. Is it advisable to say you have an uncle who lives close to your school? And yeah, well, when you have an uncle that you live close to, and you say, well, you want to stay with him to go for, no, you cannot say that. You cannot stay with your uncle. You can never say that you're going to school to learn. You can never say you're going to stay with an uncle. No, that is a red flag. Okay, don't do that. Akane says you are in level 100. Is it possible for me to transfer to any US school? I'm in Ghana. I don't recommend that. I'll tell you to focus on what you are doing and finish in Ghana. I interviewed a young lady, a very intelligent young lady. She transferred to the US, yeah, and you want to watch what she did, right? The video will be out on Wednesday. Okay, so yeah, but I don't recommend. I wanna. You've already started, so why don't you finish it, right? Okay. Um, Judy says it's applying for graduate school straight out of undergraduate, a red flag. No, I finished my undergraduates. I did my national service, and then I came to the US straight away, right? So there's nothing wrong with it. That's even a good thing. Um, O says, hello, Shai, please, how can I join mock session? So I've already told you guys how to join the mock session, okay? Um, Ken Akko says, I have a master's in project management and now going for a fully funded master's in management information system. Will going for her, will going for your MS raise concerns with the view? It depends, right? I interviewed Ray. Ray went to the UK, did his master's in geography, and then he went to higher university to do another master's in geography. So it depends on everything, what you say and all of that. Depends on, okay, even John, you're right, John, who used to be on, who used to be part of the live session, right? So John's story, right? So what he did was he did computer science in China, and he came to the US to do another computer science. So he made it clear that the China what he learned in China gave him certain skills, but then there's still certain things that he doesn't know. And the current program in the US has those things, and he was very specific. You have to be very specific and more technical, and yeah, so it depends. It depends on your story. You need the criteria for mock session. I've said it, right? I've said it, so you can watch the video again, because if I don't say you should go back to watch, it's like I'll be answering it over and over. Everybody's asking the same thing, but I've already said it so many times. Okay, so yeah, it's very simple. Bello says, I submitted an I-20 for spring 2025. Right. For spring 2025 on the Avits website during the application. Now I have a new I-24 for 2025. How do I update it? I don't remember. You can always contact the embassy, right? I don't remember this often. Like I have not had to go through this myself, right? So because I've not had to book any appointment, but you can always reach out to the embassy. I don't know. That's why if you are in WhatsApp groups, the whole point about a WhatsApp group, I created a WhatsApp group so that I can help people directly. But at some point, it became so overwhelming. Like it's not easy. Like people will reach out to you, tell them to go and watch a video that has the answer, and they are even angry, right? So at some point, I had to just stay away completely from that. So um yeah, it's just difficult. So so the good thing about WhatsApp groups is that if you are in the WhatsApp group, you are going to have other people who there is a good chance that even if you don't watch my videos, the person watches or the person joins live session, so the person may have heard something, so then the person can help you out, right? That is a good thing about live session. So that's a good thing about being in the WhatsApp groups, right? And the administrators, there are males and females, right? Administrators, so that if you misbehave, they will remove you, right? That's the whole point, so that there will be some kind of decency and all of that. And yeah, I mean, so if you're in a group, questions like this, there's a good chance somebody will answer you. And also, if you also know something, answer somebody so that when yours comes, somebody will answer you. Very simple, right? Okay. Kali says, "Hi Shai, how do I convince a video with a deficit of 38K dollars with no scholarship?" I think on my channel there are a few videos with no scholarship, right, that I have made, so you can check those ones out. But at the end of the day, who is sponsoring you? Can they sponsor you? Okay, okay, MJC, thank you very much. Lydia says, "Can I know the difference between mock session and one-on-one coaching? Because I really needed to assist me on my case." Well, when you check the link, the details are there. Mock session is just one time mock session. I just interview you like I do here. Just that one usually takes a bit longer depending on your story, depending on what is going on. It can take like 30 minutes, or like, yeah, about 30 minutes. Then I'll give you a lot of like feedback and certain things, like all these things. And then I also record it and then upload it somewhere. Only you can watch that because it's private. If you, after watching it, if you want me to delete it, I can delete it. So that's what private mock session is. But coaching is involves a lot of things. Coaching, I have to call you, talk to you first, know what is going on, background, and give you access to my course, watch them, prepare your answers, send the answers to me. I go through, perfect the answers. Then we do two mock sessions, which are also private. Then yeah, you get access to my private group where if you have any question, if anything comes up, then we can talk about this quickly. So it depends on what you want. So Fexus says, Shai, I'm currently a lecturer in the university. Is that enough for home ties? Yeah, if you're a lecturer, just that if you're a lecturer, why do you need another degree in the US, right? So you have to be very clear, you have to prove that very well as well. Christina says, please, does it make sense to use my cousin in the US as a sponsor when I've already indicated in the excellency form that I don't have any relative in the US? I mean, you know the answer. You are contradicting yourself. You can't do that, right? So Christina, you have to check that. Best option is get funding, right? Bas says, hi Shai, thanks for your time. Please, I'm Mercy from Sierra Leone, but I have been living in Ghana for the past 10 years. I school here and I schooled here and work as a TA in my school. Okay, good. Please, how do I prove home ties? There are people that have coached in different countries, right? Poland, France, and all in other countries. And yeah, if you're in another country, if you are there legally, then yeah, it should be fine. Especially if you have funding like that, it kind of helps you a lot. So there's nothing wrong with being in another country and then applying for the visa. Dubai, like all these places, people that I coach. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It just depends on having a good story and doing everything. I am seeing 52 more messages. I am confused. I don't know if I actually have 52 messages because right now the way I'm feeling. Now, if I say the way I'm feeling, somebody might not understand. Okay, let me tell you. Last night I didn't sleep early. I slept what, I don't know, maybe like 2 o'clock or so a.m. And then I had to wake up at 7 a.m. because I had an interview at 10. So I had to interview, somebody at 10. So and then after 10, I had to do a private mock session. Right. So just imagine. And then I'm doing live session. I've already done 1 hour. So I'm actually tired. My plan was after the live session, I'll just go and sleep because I still have to sleep. Hold on, let me drink water. Let me hold on. Give me a second. So, did you miss me? Anyways, okay. At the filler says, "Hi, Shai. My sponsor is an uncle in the US. Do I stand a chance?" I don't recommend it. If so, the thing is that I cannot tell, right? Maybe it will work for you, but when I look at it based on what I know, I don't think it helps. I don't think it doesn't help. In your case, if that is the only person you have, try and then get funding and then apply, uh, and then apply for the visa. Like after you have funding, because it's very difficult. Having an uncle alone is difficult unless the uncle has a company in your home country. Then you can say, oh, he has this company, and then depend on how you justify that. Maybe you are currently working in his company in your home country. The company has to be online, ideally, right? So it depends, but it's hard. It's just too hard to prove that. So Enoch says, okay, I know Enoch. He says, as a communication study student, can I specialize in investigative journalism in the US? I think so. Yeah, it's all communication, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah. Awate says there is this belief that Asian students sweep most of the scholarships when they include their test score. If I want to take the GRE, what are the steps to take? Register, go online, get materials. I even have a link to some of them so you can check those out. Prepare yourself and then go and take the exam. And it is true, there are a lot of Asians here, Chinese and then Indians, because they take all these GRE SAT, they take them like that. So yeah, we don't like to take them because I guess money is an issue, and also the time, all these things. So yeah. Sarah says, should I say about my voluntary works about caregiving at the interview, if not asked, to show why I chose nursing program, and or will it raise a red flag? I mean, it's a voluntary work. It's not like full-time position, and you are just coming to the undergraduate program, so you don't have to always mention what you are doing, especially if it doesn't really help. You can just go with why you are passionate about nursing. There's a way you can have a video on that. I think where I suggested some answers, right? So you can check that out and kind of build something from that. Enoch says, as regards the US government stance on misinformation and the decision by Facebook and X to reduce professional fact checking as it censors freedom of speech, can media literacy as be my specialty? Yeah, media literacy is a good thing to come and study. And I mean, even in Ghana, a lot of propaganda and all of that. So yeah, you can craft a story out of that. I mean, I think you can. Yeah, it's a good story in my opinion, right? Maureen says, please one day try to consider loan people. It says my phone is my battery is low. My phone is what I use to record the videos, right? So because I've been using the phone a lot today, so I have a low battery. But let's see what we can do. You said I should don't shut us out completely. So the loan thing, the Maureen, the thing is that I don't want to be part of this loan thing, because it's like a big brother talking to your kid brothers and sisters in a way, right? Like big brother in the sense that I've been here for that long and all of that, right? So I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't take loans. So why will I encourage you to take? If I do mock session with people who are taking loans, then it's like I'm encouraging them. In my coaching, I've made it very clear. I don't coach people with loans. So if you have a loan, don't book. Yeah, because yes, I had videos on loans. I deleted those videos because I just don't want to be part of it. If you want to go ahead and then use loans, you don't know what I know, right? I've been here for what, 9 years, right? That's such a long time, and I know it's not a good thing. But if you want to go ahead and maybe I can consider a loan of 15,000. Yes. So you have a GA and then you're going for a loan of 15,000. Maybe yes. But loan of 30,000 or a loan covering everything. Nah, please. Get funding. You can get funding, okay. You have what it takes to get funding. Just believe in yourself. Red Plus says, I got admission to do my master's in MBA in Webster University with no funding. Can my retail pharmacy store the question is not complete, so but maybe you want to get funded. More instance, in my DS1 form, I said my current employer is my family business because we deal with agriculture and real estate. Is this okay? I cannot tell if it's okay. It's not simple like that too. Like I cannot tell you something which is not fully ripe, right? For me to, because yeah, I don't want to tell you something which is wrong, because yeah, it depends on a lot of things. Judy says, is there a specific way of answering the why questions? What do you mean by why? I'm not too sure. Why what? why this school, why this program, why the US, you can I have a lot of videos with different ways of answering, right? So different sample answers. You can look at some of them. All right. Michael says, Aisha, I'm currently working as a volunteer TA at UCC and I have full funding for masters with zero deficit. Will this be a problem? I think you'll be fine. Just craft your story very well. You'll be fine. Chama says, I'm a graduate of computer science, data analyst, and want to study communication with interest in journalism because my future part of journalism is data journalism. You can do that, depending on your story and how you craft your story. Like all these things, it depends. You can do it. Okay. Idris says, I have applied for PhD in USM and I haven't heard from the department. The graduate coordinator is not responding to emails, so I decided to stop sending emails. It is April, and then is this normal? Well, it depends. Maybe it depends on maybe the email that you sent. Maybe the email is not looking good. Maybe you've sent too many emails, so the person is already angry with you, right? It depends on all these things. Before you apply, were you sending emails and they were responsive to your email? That can be a good clue, a good clue in terms of what is going on. But yeah, maybe it's just life, right? I cannot really tell you what is going on, but yeah. So yeah, I think I've gone through it. So the 56, I think, is the total messages today. I believe that is the total messages. So yeah, I believe I've answered your questions. If I didn't see your question, it means that YouTube didn't let me see it, right? So I really appreciate your time and I wish all of you the best. Uh, Bukola is not here. If she was here, I would have asked her. I would have done maybe 5 minutes or something, but she's not here. I don't know what's going on with her network, but um, yeah. So I'll see you guys in 3 weeks' time, and if you need resources to prepare for your visa interview, right? In the groups, there are links, right? There are all these links have been pinned. It was my instruction that these things should be pinned. So if you want, you can check the links. When you check these links, they are very specific in terms of what you need to prepare for the visa interview. All right, um, there are like if before the DX1C form appointment, everything is there. Then there are also questions and mock sessions, like all these things, they are there. So whatever you need is there. Just take it, go through it, go through those videos, and then yeah. And this week, yeah, I think there will be one more video on the visa interview transcript. So you have everything that you need. Okay. And if you have any question, you can always leave it in the group. There are people in the group who are willing to help out. Okay, so just yeah. So I really appreciate your time and all of you. It's not easy to make time, so it's good that you guys are able to make the time. And I'll talk to you when I'm back. And once I'm back, like I told you guys, mock sessions throughout. We are not stopping, like, because by then, there will be a lot of people wanting mock sessions, right? So we are going to take care of that. So take care of your time, and I saw time here, so then I'm like, okay. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye. If you have something to add, yeah, feel free to leave it in the comment section. If this video has been helpful to you, please let me know in the comment section. Share the video with your friends so that they can also